Everyone can say hello.
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 Hi, everyone. Welcome to the very beginning, really, of our Curse of Strahd campaign. It's been a few weeks since our last session because a few miscommunications and scheduling issues and all that kind of thing. But we are back to get started. Before we continue, hi, I'm Whiskey. I am the guide to this wonderful campaign. And let me just introduce you all to my Mistwalkers here. Let's go with Soph. Introduce yourself. Tell everyone who you're playing, what we're playing, and anything else you want to say.
Okay.
Put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
I did, yeah. I saw you not. I was like, yes, got him.
Yeah. I am Soph. Pronouns they them. I am playing Lint Keptuk, who is a he/him wizard. Currently, just trying to get on by. He doesn't know really why he's here. He's just having some fun.
That's fair. And in the last session, you did have your spellbook awaken. For some reason, you don't know why, but it began talking to you when you started casting the Identify spell. So we might jump into that a little bit later on in the story, maybe today. Who knows? Let's go into Goss. Tell people about yourself and all that kind of thing.
Oh God, my favorite thing to do.
Yay!
My name is Goss. They he. I play Rain. They them. Who's a changeling. Who's also a pirate.
I love that. You are playing it's actually on the board anyway, a rogue warlock, and you've...
Yeah, but the pirate
thing.
thing.
The pirate thing is the most important part. There's been moments in your time during the first few sessions where you actually had a bit of a replay of you being underwater and staring up into the night sky, almost drowning, and then some kind of light just appeared, and then that's all you remember from that point, at least. So we'll see what goes on there. Let's go on to Dro.
Hi, I'm Dro, he, they pronouns. I play Bakar, the he, him cleric. Can never turn down a good drink, and it's a bit of a klutz. Yeah.
You spent, I think, 2 sessions poisoned. I'm pretty sure. But
I like wine.
You know what? That's fair. You have actually been doing the rites to a burial as we get into this game. But we'll come on to that in a few seconds. Let's finish off, last but no means least, Naomi.
Hi, I'm Naomi, she, her. I play Davy, the Circle of Spores druid. Yeah, they're just here to have a good time.
And over this time, for the past few sessions, you've been starting to hear multiple voices in your head. Young voices, weirdly enough. You did also have the voice of one of the residents of the manor enter your mind. And then they left because you saved them, basically. You saved their souls, at least what you can think of. And then you had this little bit of sadness because you missed them. But yeah, we basically finished off the Death House segment of Curse of Strahd. It was an introduction for many people when they run this campaign. It is synonymous to be killing party members quite easily, but they managed to survive. I did get someone to 0 hit points, which was not my fault. It was their fault, so that's fine. That's good. But at the end of sorting out, putting bodies to rest and helping out this flesh monster underground, to what you know, you have basically finished the curse of Death House. Because when we return, we find ourselves in kind of the courtyard of the manor, and dawn has broke. You notice that, though. You approach this area kind of in the dark, I believe, at night. I'm pretty sure it was the case. I could be wrong. But you do notice that even though dawn has broken, it is still extremely dark around you. You'd look around into the sky and the sun itself is almost entirely blocked out. It's creeping through the clouds and fog and mist, but it's struggling to even reach you as you complete the rites for this child's remains. And as you finish these rites, you stand up, you look around, and then that basket that I mentioned earlier with the wine, the cheeses, the dried meat, and a letter with a weird symbol, a wax seal imprinted on it. So, the question for you guys, real quick, before you leave the manor to hopefully find some place to rest, who is going to be taking the letter? Who's going to be taking the wine? Who's going to be looking after the cheese? And are you, this is very important, are you going to break the seal and read the letter? Or are you not going to commit postal fraud and leave the letter as it is? The letter itself, I believe, hang on a second, has the name Ismark on it. Ismark. So yeah, I think and I believe if I remember mentioning this, it says please deliver to Ismark. I might have had his name as well. I think it's Kolyanovich. 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 I really hope I haven't butchered that name. Yeah, so we starting off with the letters in front of anyone who wants to do it. I'm going to say for this, because you have just finished the rites for the burial. So yeah, whoever out of the other three want to get this letter, you're more than welcome to. Who's going to go for it?
I can open the letter because then I can use one of the matches to just reheat the wax and reseal it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. So, you do slightly start to, use a knife to slice it open, right?
Yeah.
You slice it, and as you start to cut into the wax itself, there's a slight chill that enters your body and works its way around from the hand that has got the knife, and as it goes across the wax seal, it completes, but it goes down your arm into your chest. You sort of breathe a little bit heavy, and then you shake it off. And now what I'm going to do, Goss, is I'm going to quickly send you a message.
Oh, I forgot I was signing up to read out loud.
Yep. I mean, I don't want to read it. You don't know what voice I'm using yet. So, here you go. While this, have a quick read through it first, Rain, to yourself. But for Lynn and Davey, during this ritual that Bakar was doing, is there anything you two want to do while Rain is slowly opening this letter? Anything for Lynn or Davey? Anything for you two?
Maybe we'll take a bite of the cheese.
Yeah, it's good cheese. It tastes very nice, actually. Yeah, it's slightly creamy to the touch. It coats the roof of your mouth as well, so it stays there for a little bit longer. Quite nice. Yeah. Anything for you, Lynn?
Lint's making a note in his book, as usual, but just about everything that he's experienced.
That's fine.
In the house.
That's fair.
Because he thinks it's worth a note, because it's just like, we all nearly died.
Yeah, 100%, right? You gotta note down those moments. Do me a favor then, actually, just because I want you to roll, and it's good to roll. Let's have Davey, Lynn, and Bakor. Could you all roll me a quick perception check for me, please? First roll of the beginning of the campaign.
18.
18, nice.
8.
Nice.
I'm writing. I'm busy.
40, you are busy, yeah. So it actually kind of makes sense that Bakar would get the highest roll in this. I always like when dice tell the story. It's because when Bakar, you knew what to do with this child's remains, and as you complete the ritual, you feel the presence of the house when you first entered it slowly starts to dissipate. The moment you finish the burial, finish reading the rites, however your character does it, and it's not that the area around this mansion is like all of a sudden revitalized and all that kind of stuff, but it feels like the house itself has finally relaxed. It doesn't feel like it's got a hold around it anymore. And you do see ever so slightly, and you don't know why you looked in that area, but you see... Do you remember the maid? The ghostly maid? You see that she's just in the window staring at you. She bows and fades away. And then the house itself slowly begins to just crumble. A little bit, beginning to crumble. Nothing dramatic, just very delicately settling to rest. So this feeling of, you know you did the right thing, is definitely going to be a sense that you have. And after that, you notice, oh shit, I'm tired. Rain.
Reading the letter?
Yes, please. If you want to, you don't have to. You don't have to read it out loud. You can say that you read it to your own character and they do not say it out loud. It's up to you.
I think for now, I will keep it to myself, and then if something relevant happens a bit later, I will bring it up.
So, okay. So you read the letter. You seal it back up for me. Do me a favor. Roll me a... Let's go sleight of hand check, please. Guidance.
Is that D20?
So yeah, for your for this, it's going to be a D20 plus your stealth. Whatever bonus you have to your stealth, I believe it's +2. And then if you are proficient with sleight of hand, then you add proficiency to it, which is a +3. I think at level 3. I can't remember.
Sleight of hand is
it +2?
+4.
Cool. Yeah, that's what. So you roll a D20 +4. And plus a D4 because of guidance from Davey. And that's why Davey wasn't paying attention to the house. It all works out.
Got an 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
So, first of all, you haven't got the insignia, what was broken. So, you are going to melt the wax, but it's not going to have that symbol that was on it before. So, do you think it's going to be fine? You know, who gives a shit? I've read it, so it's fine. You place it down, it settles, it folds back up nicely for you. And you four are free to start working your way through this village. You do notice around you, actually, the mist that was basically approaching you as you went to Death House. It has started to breathe away from you, just very slowly moving away. And as it expands, you start to notice the village of BAROVIA. I've always had the imagination of it kind of being like Bloodborne-ish, leaning towards Gothic, but then it's that very basic village area as well, right? As you, I'm assuming, let's say you start walking out a little bit. Is that okay for you four? Is that okay? So when you start to work your way through the what's the word for, it's like you walk through it, it's
Archway?
It's the archway, right? But there's another word for it too, I believe.
Gates?
Sure. You walk through the gate, archway, and as the fog does start to leave you a little bit, there are tall shapes that start to emerge out of the fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to a slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each of these houses stare back at you like pools of just blackness. The only sounds that you hear are your own footsteps, slow splashes of the remaining puddles on the floor, and it echoes all around you, but you hear a very faint You continue walking. You notice that there are certain buildings that have some light to them. I will remind you, by the way, that at the end of the last session, there was a raven that was perched on the archway that had blue-tipped wings. And you do see it just slowly flying off into some direction. You don't know what's left and right, and well, north, south, east, west right now. It just flies away. As you're approaching, even though the houses have that darkness in the windows, you can't help but kind of keep an eye on those little moments of, is someone watching me? And that eerie silence, apart from the distant crying. You don't think you're alone here, but you can't see anyone. You continue walking through the streets of this village, and a couple of buildings start to show themselves to you, if you would. One is sort of it looks like some kind of shop, you know, kind of a basic shop. With this area, I'm going to read this for you. The sparse light from this building spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door, creaking on its hinges, reads, Bill Drafts Mercantile. So you have this building. The moans of the crying that you hear is very close to this area, kind of down one of the streets. It's still foggy, but it is, you can see down this area a little bit. You wander a little bit further, and you see a slightly warmer and more inviting building. Immediately you think it's a tavern, right? It gives that impression of a tavern. In your mind, it might be a case of, oh, this is fucking sanctuary for me. But you see a single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming blood. Make a perception check real quick. All of you.
7.
18.
18.
14.
14. Lynn?
11.
11. So, anyone who roll over a 10, you'll be able to see this a little bit of a detail. The name of this tavern is called Blood on the Vine. But the ones who actually rolled over a 10, sorry, Rain, you notice that originally it was called Blood of the Vine, but someone has scratched the N over the F. You also notice that these buildings around you have got claw marks on their doors, paw prints all over the place, all over the gardens. It feels very run down. People are living here, but they don't want to leave. But yeah, so to give you an option for you four, because I do want to give you this the options to choose where you want to go. So you have this tavern. You have the noise from whatever that crying was. And then you have Bildrift's Mercantile. Or Bildrift's Mercantile. Is there anything... Is there some place you want to go straight away? What's your first thoughts in this moment for all of you?
I say tavern.
I would agree with tavern. I am exhausted and would love to sit down for a little bit.
Okay, I'll follow you.
Let's go.
Okay. So, you go up to this door, and the door itself is kind of... It almost looks like it's ready to just collapse. And the moment you open the door, you first off get hit by just a wave of comforting warmth. You enter, and the first thing you notice in this tavern is there is a fireplace just crackling in the corner. There's a barkeep. The barkeep is a tallish gentleman, human, pale white skin, and you notice that he's sort of just staring blankly, not at you. If you've ever been in a tavern before, the majority of the time a couple of things happen. One, the people who are locals in that tavern will look at you because you might be strangers, especially for you four. Or two, the barkeep is there to welcome you in and smile and entice you to come towards them. This barkeep isn't like that. You see that he is staring just straight forward and just cleaning glasses. Just cleaning glasses. You look around the tavern as a group. I'm assuming you're going to do this, by the way. You don't have to, but and there's a couple of more people in this area. There are 3 female-presenting humans, each of which got a bit of color to them, as in their style of clothing, but kind of still drabby, right? They're just sat around a table. You don't know what they're drinking. It looks like they're drinking some kind of tea or coffee or something like that. You also see a single gentleman in the corner, in kind of a darker area. And you notice that he is drinking some kind of, you'd assume, wine at this point. And that's it. The barkeep, the 3 ladies, and the gentleman sat on the table. But let me just bring a couple of things up real quick. So, yeah. Where do you go first?
Baby's gonna go up to the bartender and stare right back at them.
You notice that as you're staring at him, he's a lot taller than you, so you're sort of looking up. Your head is... what's your height, actually, David? Because I don't know.
Davey is small.
Okay.
He's like...
So it's kind of like this over the counter. You're staring, and he doesn't acknowledge you. He's just staring. And you notice that, depending on how long you stare at, I can imagine Davey actually staring at him for a while. You notice that once he's finished completing the cleaning of these glasses, he moves them back and grabs them and starts again. And he's just staring.
Davy will take out a rag from their bag and begin mirroring their actions and taking glasses and cleaning
Cute.
them, putting them away.
I think Rain's gonna come up behind and be like, "Excuse me, sir. Can we get drinks?"
He turns to you and goes, "Small glass of wine, 1 copper, a pitcher of wine, 1 silver." And then he continues cleaning.
It's like your eyes are open, but you don't see us at all.
Yeah, he acknowledged Rain, but he was staring through Rain.
Debatable. Okay, so do we want... Rain's gonna look at everybody else and be like, do we want a pitcher of wine? Want everybody to have a small glass? What do we want?
Pitcher, please.
Okay, can I get like 2 pitchers of the wine?
He nods. And it's almost robotic in nature. No emotions at all. Just a blank slate of a person. Turns, gets the wine, pours it for you. Pitcher of wine, 1 silver.
Okay, so I'm gonna take... Because when we went into the death house, at one point I got 80 in silver.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him the 2 pieces of silver for the 2 pitchers.
And
take
just
that back to the
very
table.
slowly, and you notice that when you put the coins down, he just slowly and then goes back into cleaning the same glasses repetitively.
I'm gonna take these 2 pictures and I'm gonna go over to a table where I'm sure Paul and I are gonna sit down for sure and drink.
I quickly walk behind Rain.
Yeah, okay.
Lint had already chosen to sit down at a table somewhere before they all went to the barkeep, and he's chosen a table that's close to where the 3 ladies are, but he's got his back to them, and he's going to try and discreetly just check up on them because he thinks something's off.
Do you want to do an insight check or do you want to do a perception check? Your call.
Insight would be handy.
Sure, go for it. I'm assuming that everyone else joins Lint, or unless Davey is still staring. Which is
Davy will take the glass that they've been cleaning and go over to the table.
Davey, get over here.
Okay.
18.
18. Okay, cool. I'll be in 2 seconds, actually. As you 3 approach Lint's table, you do clock that the gentleman who was sat on the table alone, you notice that he does look up a second and then puts his head back down and starts drinking his wine. You sit down, and Lint, with the insight, you don't think there's anything menacing about these 3. You have a slight sense of they might be quietly judging you. They're talking amongst themselves. But the vibe you get is just more of you are a stranger. Without any more context, that's as far as you can get to right now. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Lint's just keeping vigilant, looking at everything.
Yeah, not hostile, I'll say that. Not hostile, but judgmental.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say this actually. As you sat down, just because you rolled an 18, right?
Yeah.
I'll add this in actually then. With an 18, you sat down, you would have definitely noticed them looking at Rain interacting with the barkeep.
Mm-hmm.
And just have a little bit of a like just a little quiet laugh to themselves, like very quick, just and then they continue their thing.
I'm gonna fight some people in a bar.
So you all gather around the table with Lint. You have your pitcher of wine. What is it you want to talk to each other about? I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk to each other right now. Helps me out a little bit because I'm going to make sure everything's organized. But yeah, whatever you want to do.
So I may be very exhausted, but what the hell is going on in this tavern? Everyone's acting like really strange.
What do you mean?
Davey, I'm sure it's normal for you.
I think Rain's gonna take a look at that barkeep and then look back at Khan and be like, I've seen men act like that before, and it's usually after a horrible trip at sea.
That's fair. I've never been on scene personally.
That dude is traumatized.
Lynn, did you notice anything while you were sitting here by yourself? Because
not out of the ordinary. It's a strange town, and we are strangers in said strange town, so I wouldn't be surprised if they are, curious of us at best and just judgmental at worst. But apart from that, I don't think we have anything to fear right now. Although I will say I'm not going to be drinking any wine today.
I'll take Lynn's share, if that's okay.
Be my guest.
Anything else you want to say to each other? So I'll say this. As you are just quietly contemplating what the fuck has happened in the past, however many hours you think it might be, you do... I'm going to assume Rain, for a few seconds you will still be clocking the barkeep, just out of curiosity of the way, what he's doing. And yeah, it's just the same repetitive motion over and over and over and over again. Some time goes by as the three behind you are just sort of talking about the village itself, a little bit of gossip here and there. You hear him talking about a person called Mary, and they are mentioning they nickname her Mad Mary, talking about them going, well, it's not her daughter's fault, is it? It's not her daughter's fault that they decided to leave. It was Mary's in the end. Mary should have just paid a bit more attention to her daughter, like a good mother should have been. And you hear another one going, exactly. I mean, they weren't even able to look after that dog, for God's sake, and they just left it to basically die. Not fit for a mother. Not at all. Crying away like someone's gonna give her attention. She doesn't deserve attention. Oh, does she? And the other, not at all, darling. Not at all. Well, it seems like we have some visitors again. I wonder what they get up to. Another one. Or one of them, because I can't remember the voices, so I'm just going to say one of them. They all sound the same. Honestly, they actually do sound the same. This is a group of three that speak the same tonalities and all that kind of thing. Helps me out as well as the DM. Well, we'll see how they do, Mirabelle. Maybe they'll do something good for a change. I know the last ones who were here, they just... Didn't they get washed up on a river or something? That's right. That's right, Alenka, yes. They thought they could handle it. And it sort of just drifts off in conversation. A bit of time goes by during this moment. As a gentleman slowly approaches you as a group. And you notice that this gentleman pulls down his hood. and you look up and see this gentleman is pale, white complexion, quite a strong jaw, longish grey hair. Immediately you think it's stress related. He looks older than he is. Very well appointed leather. I don't know if it's armor, but just gear at least. And he looks at you and goes, Don't worry about those three. They are the owners of this premises. Honestly, they just talk shit most of the time, and it's nothing to worry about. They mean no harm. Do you mind if you could lend me your ear really quickly? I know you're new here, and he sort of turns to a chair, and looks at you and goes, do you mind if I sit down with you?
Rain's gonna use their foot to push the chair out so he can sit down.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Before we do anything, the next round of drinks, I'm assuming the wine, please, on me, please. So, welcome, to BAROVIA. I am Ismark, and I understand that you are, a party of adventurers, and I apologize for being so forward, but, I need your help. I usually wait around to see if anyone turns up to see if they can help me in my situation, and most of the people in this village are not prepared for it, if I'm honest. I just want to explain to you a little bit. My sister, Arina, she has been for, and you see, like, he wants to explain, but the sheer pressure and stress of the situation makes him like hold back words and slight tears. She has been getting relentless, I'm going to say, attention from a devilish man. I do not wish to speak his name, as speaking his name will usually draw attention to the one who speaks it. You hear the three women behind you start to slightly cackle. Do you mind if we move closer to the fire? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you get up and he see Rain. He tries to do the same gesture what you did with the kick, but he does it and the chair falls over. It's like, oh, okay, sorry. And he puts it back up and positions it properly for you. And then he settles back down and sits and goes, I'm sorry. You see a kind of a shadow come across his face a little bit. My sister has been visited by this a devil for a few days now. She proclaims she cannot remember what happened, but my sister, she is a good person, a terrible liar. I believe the devil has some infatuation with her. For what reason, I do not know. But what I do know is, for her to stay in this village, it's going to be the end of her. My father, the burgomaster of this village, he has sadly passed away. And I have to take his place. But I, for one, will be here to make sure this is my village and it will be looked after. But I do not want my sister to be here anymore. There is a place far from here that I believe is outside of the devil's sight. And from what I have been told, it's well fortified as well. I ask you, my dear friends, that you accompany my sister to this village. Valaki is the name. And give her a chance to live a life without that beast of a man's shadow always behind her. I cannot offer you too much in regards to money, but I will, of course, offer a place to stay for the night, a place to eat warm food, and my entire gratitude afterwards. You would have my friendship forever. This is something I know I cannot do myself. If it comes down to it, I must. But the journey is treacherous, and I feel that I am not prepared. Any help would be amazing.
You promise we'll be friends forever?
He tilts his head a little bit, and there's a smile, Davy. And this smile is it's forced because it's faked, but not because he's trying to just put it on. There's this level of desperation in the smile. He turns to you and goes, I mean, yes, if that is the case, then I would be in your debt for life. All I ask is you come to our mansion and meet her, and then, well, hopefully convince her to accompany you on the journey.
Your name's Ismark, right?
Yes. I did introduce myself, didn't I? Yes.
Is your sister's name Tatiana?
Tatiana? No.
Rain looks at the letter, sighs. It's like, well, we're definitely going to need housing, and we're definitely going to need food first before we do anything else, because we just got done getting our asses kicked by a house.
You didn't go to Death House, did you?
We strolled right in, bud.
Oh, we even put a sign, and you now you have like a little bit of a flashback, as there was a sign what you walked by saying "Death House, beware." Well, the fact that you made it here after going to that awful place, that demonstrates already that you are strong enough to, well, at least hopefully make the journey.
Yeah, there were ghosts, and then a statue came to life, and then there's a dog, and then there was like a weird baby monster ghost thing. But we handled it.
That sounds...
It was really nice. There was a piano and food and crystals, and it was shiny and warm.
This guy got poisoned. You can point at Caw.
Poisoned? Well, my friend, I'm glad you are still alive. Well done. We should put the sign in front of the house, not further on in the... Okay, so we will make sure I do it eventually, but not right now. This is most important. So if you are okay, we will get more drinks, and when you are ready, I will accompany you to our mansion, if that's okay. Turns to all of you. And Lynn, you catch the look in his eyes, and for that split second, you see a twinkle of hope. You were kind of busy with your writing, maybe. You might have been in your book for a second, writing things down. But there's this moment where you just looked up to catch his eye, and it's that moment when maybe not you connecting with him, but he invests in you in that moment.
Mm.
And throughout the drinks that you have, he will be doing all of this. He will pay for all of it. He goes through a little bit of history about Death House. He talks to you about it being synonymous for what it was a very respectable family that started to try to appease to the person. He does not mention his name, but you know the name of Strahd. They were desperate for his attention. And even though there was this moment of they got his attention, but the attention that he gave them was apparently the end of them. He talks about the owners here, the three. He mentioned that they are former Vistani. So if you four can't remember what Vistanis are the travelers who you actually saw right at the beginning of the campaign. They were the ones who brought you to Barovia. And he mentions that he actually mentions to you that some Vistani, there's rumors that some of them are spies for Strahd. He made a deal with them because they did him a favor. And some of them, not all of them, it's not a case of all Vistanis are this, it's not that. It's a very small amount of them have made agreements to be Strahd's spy. For whatever reason, Ismark does not know. And he mentions that Alenka, Mirabelle, and Sorvria, Alenka, Alenka, Mirabelle, Mirabel, and Sorvia, Sorvia. They are former Vistani, but for some reason, they don't have the same privileges as other Vistanis. From what Ismark mentions to you, he mentions that they did not want the same lifestyle as Vistanis. They wanted to have their own tavern and just have this humble life. They settled for this tavern, what's around you. After a couple of more rounds, depending on how drunk you want to be, it's up to you guys, Ismark will stand up, sort of gets his cloak back on and shrugs off the dust and goes, "Okay, right. Is there anything else you would like to talk to me about before we make our way to the mansion? Any questions? I will answer as much as I possibly can."
The people who brought us here, they said that they could not enter this. They could not enter Barovia. They did not elaborate exactly why. Would you happen to know why?
What are their names? Yes! I don't know, actually. I can't remember. You mentioned a name.
I can't think of one.
I prepped that name for so long, and now it's gone blank off my head. But
Is the guy with the patchwork coats?
Yeah, but
Yeah, him.
Sure. Oh man, that's gonna bug my either way.
The storyteller. I just named him. He was the storyteller.
You can say storyteller, but it actually works out. Oh, you mean that person? I did not know that he was banned from here. I was wondering why we hadn't seen him and his troops for a long time. No, I'm not too sure. Not too sure. Did he mention anything else to you? What are you here for? Anyway.
Can I roll a perception check on this guy right now?
Perception or insight? Insight is to know this person as a character. Perception is to literally just to look at them.
Insight.
Yep. Of course you can.
I'm casting guidance as well.
In front of him, he looks at you and goes, "What are you doing?" You literally have to do stuff for guidance.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Everyone else is really weird in this cavern. This is not that weird.
He's non-combatant, so you should be okay.
Okay, so I got the 19, and then what does the guidance do again?
Add a d4. So roll a d4, add whatever number that is. Guidance is this seasoning to everything we do in campaigns.
22.
Okay, so what are you trying to insight on, Ismar? Just so I know. Just so I know what I'm trying to give you.
I think it's weird that he doesn't know why they're banned when he's technically running the place now, and then now he's asking if he said anything else.
Oh, interesting. So
it's like alternative motive.
Okay, so first off, he is genuinely not too sure why they are banned. I believe I could be wrong about this because I can't remember during the roleplay if I did mention it, but it wasn't Ismark who banned them. It was Madame Eva who banned them from coming into this village. So you are under the impression that Madame Eva is the leader of their camp, and it was Madame Eva who actually was the one who's banned them from entering BAROVIA. You're not too sure why. I believe he actually mentioned to you that his repayment was to bring adventurers to BAROVIA, and that was it. There was no other context of why they were banned. But yeah, it was Madame Eva who forbids them to go to BAROVIA for whatever reason. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the reason. Anything else? Anything else before we move on? No? Okay. As you gather your things, you neck your drinks. Ismark necks drink as well. You notice that Ismark, instead of just leaving the pitchers and glasses on the side, you see that he will kind of gently put the glasses where the barkeep is starting to clean stuff. So he knows what to do. He's been here plenty of times. So you see that there's a bit of kindness behind this man. And as you leave, he turns to you and goes, that is Arik. A-R-I-K. He is interesting. I'm not sure what happened or why he's like this, but he has been like this since I have known him. Gave him a simple job, at least for us 3, and that's it. Gave him some kind of purpose. He was wandering for a while, not knowing what he was doing apparently, and from what I know, they made sure that they told him exactly what to do, and just that, and that's it. Let's go. As you open the door, as Ismark opens the door for all of you,
Bye, Arik.
you just see him stare, doesn't acknowledge, and he just continue. He's literally looking like straight forward, right? He knows where the glasses where Ismark is, reaches, and starts cleaning them. And there's this one little bit of a snicker from the 3, where we just go, "Good luck," as the door closes behind you. So, you wander the streets for a few minutes. You're heading your way through his village, and again, it is just completely in shambles. The closer you get to the final location of where he's taking you, you do see around you the claw marks, what we mentioned. They are more sporadic, deeper into the walls. There's walls that have definitely been crumbled. There's doors that have been smashed open. And then the fog around you starts to dissipate that little bit more. And as your eyes sort of look back up to the sun that is completely blocked, you notice a daunting shape form in the fog, really high up. The fog starts to move as you see looming over on this cliff side that is thousands of feet up, a building, a castle, almost pitch black in its appearance from this point. But the moment you spot it, you notice that it spots you as well. And it's almost like the fog that is kind of moved slightly behind it. For those who have good passive perception, which I believe is Davy and Bakor, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the mist behind it forms a shape of an eye. And it just slowly just turns to the direction where you're heading towards the mansion. And then it fades away. But
Baby will lean over to Baka and just say, "That's where the devil lives."
The cod just like kind of like looks out and Dave goes.
Yeah, and from this point, there's this sense of being watched from this moment throughout this entire journey. Not just from people who you believe are in the buildings that are completely pitch blacked out, but from the sky above now. You work your way to this mansion, and as you approach, I'm going to describe what it looks like. I'm going to read what it looks like, because I don't know. A weary-looking mansion squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside, while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself. Yet against the walls, the growth has been trampled down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw markings have stripped the once beautiful finish of the walls, and great black marks tell of fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of evil omen. Anyone can make a quick perception check for me?
22.
22, nice. DC is 11, by the way, so just let me know if you hit it or not.
14.
4.
Rain!
That's just not good today.
That's good. Hey, you shouldn't be dying today, so you should be fine. Maybe. You notice that the trampling around the mansion, there's a bunch of different footprints going on. There's paw prints, what are clawed, like big, deep claws. You see that there are footprints that are, some of which, there's one like where it's just the left foot kind of thing. You notice that there's a normal footprint, but one foot is being dragged behind the other. And you, maybe Make me just straight intelligence check, everyone, if you want to. Anyone who actually rolled high... Sorry, Rain. Roll me an intelligence check. I'm sorry, Rain. I'm sorry.
19.
19.
9.
Yeah.
More than that one.
Oh. Actually kind of works out again that Bakor gets this. Bakor, in your time, you have dealt with undead creatures. The first thing that pops up in your mind is these are kind of the footfalls of undead humanoids. You don't know how many there are, but it looks like there's a lot of them. It almost looks coordinated from this approach. Zombies are usually mindless, almost always mindless, but it looks like there's a coordinated assault that happened to this mansion. As you approach the door, Ismark will go up to this very... It used to be beautiful set of heavy wooden doors. But again, it's been tarnished by claw marks and burns and just putrid essence all over it. And you see Ismark will... And he'll wait around. And you see that in the middle of this door, there's a shutter that opens up. And you see in this gap a set of eyes. Like piercing brown eyes. Long hair covering almost the side of one. And you hear, "Who are you?" Ismark goes, "It's me, Arena. It's me. It's your brother. How can I trust you? You can't trust me. I'm your brother. I have spent many years around you. Do you remember this time when I pushed you down the stairs?"
It's just like, bruh.
And you see this tilt of the eyes. And the eyes pierce all four of you. Like... Ismark, who are these people?
Friends.
Apparently, yes. I have found some people to finally, hopefully, get you to where we need to go, or where you need to go. The shutter closes. You hear the... It wouldn't be keys and shit, right? But the sound of planks of wood being removed and barricades being removed as the door opens, and you are presented with a black female with auburn hair. Gorgeous to look at. Just the essence of beauty. She wears a thick red scarf around her neck. And you see that she is adorning beautiful armor to the side of her. And you see that even though Ismark is there to, tell her to open the goddamn door, she opens, but her hand is closely drawing a blade on her side as she's just eyeing you four up. Do me a favor. This is something that's not written in the campaign, but I think it'd be kind of cool. Could you all just make me a persuasion check, all of you? I want to see what vibe she's going to get off all of you. Persuasion check.
22.
22. Damn.
At 20 plus 8.
Let's go, baby.
Charisma, baby. Lynn?
I'm not doing well today. I rolled single digits yet again. I rolled a 9.
Ooh, okay, cool. Davey?
18.
Lynn, the door closes in front of you. Not really.
Oh, no.
Not really.
Not the first time.
She will eye you up, Lynn.
Lint will just dip his head slightly.
Okay.
Like, especially if she tries to look really close to his face, he just like tries to hang like his fringe further over his head to try and hide his eyes.
She looks at you, Lint. You're cautious.
I
Good.
always am.
Good. Good to know. Please enter. And the door is open, and you do see, like, as the door closes, the barricades are just, she's going to slowly put the barricades. She looks quite strong, actually, as well. Like, very, very feminine presented, right? But dense, like, strong, as she does it. It feels like the strength is coming from the weight that she has to carry, if you would. The metaphoric weight she has to carry. And as she lets you in, she goes, "Now, Ismark, I know you want me to leave, but we cannot yet. You know why?" And Ismark has this, like, this kind of defeated look on his face for a second. I understand, sister. I understand. Maybe they can help us too. I just want to get you somewhere safe and away from that fucking beast. You see that Irina will, like, to sort of bring her hand up to her neck slightly. Okay, let's sit down and let's talk about this, because I am not going until we have dealt with father. Okay? Okay. You all accompany them to a dining room. And this mansion used to be very, very, very stunning. When you think about Death House and how nice that was to start with, this would have blown it out the water if it was still being looked after. It still presents some kind of warmth, but you know that it could have been better. There's a table that has multiple chairs around it, and she sits down. And in kind of not a grumpy teenager kind of vibe, but more of a stern, focused vibe. She sits down. There's a jug of wine. She pours herself one, swills it, and then takes it back. Please, be seated. And what are your names? Why are you here? Irina will ask you to sit down. Do you sit down?
I'm gonna sit directly across from her.
It's a big table.
Yeah, just sit
I respect. Yeah.
across from her.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna sit right next to her.
Yep, okay. She's definitely at the head of the table. Like, even though Ismark is the newly anointed Burgomaster or Burgomaster, she's the one who's, like, trying to take charge right now.
So wait, is it one of those, like, long
Yes.
tables? Oh, so Rain is literally sitting on the opposite.
Opposite
No,
side.
I stand by that. That
Yeah,
works.
just do it. That's fine. She will.
I will sit like somewhere next to Rain. I don't want to sit too close to her.
Okay.
I sit on the opposite side from
cool.
her, from where Davy is.
So like that.
facing Davy.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, it's nice to see that two of you are thinking appropriately. Well, I am.
Which two? Them two or us two?
Them two are very far away. I don't know if I should be offended by it or it's. Doesn't
It's
matter.
not
Doesn't matter.
personal. It's just I just don't know you that well.
And I like that too. I like that too. Okay. And this is a little bit of frustration in her mind. As she goes, okay. So, here's the situation. My brother wants me to move to Verlaki, and I am more than happy to do this, but did he mention about our father?
Did not know.
Isn't he dead?
Yes. Unfortunately, he passed a few days ago. Our manor has been assaulted for weeks, I don't know why. Every night we heard moanings of undead creatures and the howls of packs of wolves. The house was assaulted relentlessly. And our poor father, he just could not handle it. His poor heart could not handle it, and he passed. For 2 days now, we have been looking after his body, but he needs a proper burial. I will not go anywhere until my father is buried where he needs to be buried. There's this smell, which actually all four of you now know what that smell is, whereas just a hint of decay in the air. Make a quick perception check, everyone.
8.
8.
I finally rolled well. 18.
Nice.
6.
6 and 10. Okay, 10 is enough. Link, you'll see a bit more of the detail, I guess. On an adjacent room, there is a door that has been half opened. You had the impression that she was in there before you arrived, but forgot to close the door. But you do see through this crack, there is a coffin in there. In the crypts below Death House, there were like these really, really gorgeous looking coffins, what were made for weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe months in preparation. This coffin looks like it's homemade. You get the impression that Ismark and Irina has made this themselves. Lint, you would notice that what you first think is just some kind of maybe velvet or something over it. It's not that. It's flowers, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flowers put all over this that have decayed over time. And as she turns to you, all, so you are more than welcome to stay for the day. I would love you to accompany me with my dear father to our church to visit Donovich, and then Donovich will be able to provide the proper burial for my father. Once that is complete, then I will accompany you to Valaki to make sure my brother is focused on what he has to do here, and hopefully I will not be as assaulted as much as possible. Is that okay with you? Yeah.
Can I make a further perception check to see, like, he wants to try and determine if the coffin that he's seeing is the coffin that's holding the father or something completely different. So he's going to try and look at the flowers to see how decayed they are.
I'm not going to get you to roll for it because I think at 19's fine what you rolled. But you would definitely see that you get the impression that it is the father, right? They never mention a mother in this conversation. It's mainly just the father. What's interesting is flowers definitely like die, right? They die because as soon as you take them, you cut them, they start dying. They're technically dead as soon as you cut them. They decayed much faster than usual, like to the point where they are almost just moldy in a sense. It's a bit weird. Like flowers don't decay that quick. Just so you know. You don't know why.
Lint just kind of leans forward a bit and just says, there are some questions that I'm sure me and my companions have. I was wondering if you could answer them.
Of course, as much as I can.
My first question is there something going on that you cannot speak of?
my friend, what is your name?
Lint.
I apologize, Lint. Your names, please. I'm so rude. I'm sorry for being so rude.
Rain.
What was that?
Rain. My name is Rain.
I got you. Thank you. Oh, horror.
My name is Baka.
Lovely name. I that's very beautiful. I love your look. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And you, my friend.
People make friends so fast here. Davy. They call me Davy.
Davy. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Lint. So I'm honest with you. I can speak my mind as much as I can. The only thing we as Barovians do not do is speak that devil's name. It is known to bring bad luck to families who speak it, and as you can tell, we are out of luck right now, so...
Okay. That's understandable. Okay. So...
I am free to speak my mind.
That is fine. This thing that you cannot speak, I will at least ask a few questions about it. You don't have to directly answer if you don't want to, in case it seems that it may have some incantational based thing that if you mention it, it might trigger something. So I'll be careful.
Okay.
Is the thing that you can't speak of responsible for why this town seems to have fallen apart? Everything seems very deprived when we were here. It's very lack of people, and obviously seems to be a lot of strange supernatural occurrences of undead and pack wolves attacking at night.
I understand your concern, and you are correct in that assumption. This devil, it's like he has some kind of control over this area. Maybe it is because we are in sight of his castle. The beast himself, he's become, for some reason, slightly obsessed with me. He has visited me two times at night. I do not recall what happened during those times. I do know that... And you see that she goes back to her neck again. Once I had my mind back, she just brushes back her again, beautiful hair. And you see 2 red dots on her neck.
Can I make it's straight intelligence to see if I can recognize what would do that?
You are very intelligent regardless. This is the essence of a vampire bite, right?
Mm-hmm.
The vampires you have not met yourself, but in your studies you would absolutely know that, because you got to think about, in your studies of poisons, you would have been talking about studying things that might one, poison, but also maybe affect the mind in different ways. It could be a case of poisoning, charming, any kind of like potion orientated thing you were kind of looking into, and you sort of learn into poison more than anything for your own reasons. Studying what vampires can do is something that you kind of did. You're not sure how it happens. You're not too sure how vampirism actually works, but you easily recognize that these are vampire bites.
Okay. He just kind of makes a quick note, and then as he's making the note, he asks, has this beast, as you would probably describe, is he recent to this land, or has this been going on for a while?
He has been here as long as I have been here. And for my knowledge, he has been here... Turns to Ismark. longer than anyone here.
But these attacks to this house have been recent.
Yes, recent.
Was there any other household in this town that has had similar attacks before this?
No, the assault on this village of ours has happened for the past few weeks. He would visit, apparently. Different places in this land he would visit, and they always said that he was asking questions and searching for something or someone, and it feels like I'm the thing he's after. I don't know why, and for me, it seems that he's trying to put pressure on my loved ones and me. So maybe this place is falling apart because I exist here. I'm not too sure, and hopefully maybe I can get to Vallaki, as Ismark has mentioned, and it'll stop.
I have a question.
Yes!
Who's Mad Mary?
Mad Mary?
Who's Mad Mary?
Mad Mary is one of the residents of Barovia.
How long has she been mad?
She has been mad, well, for... Now, I need to make sure I get this right, by the way, because this is actually important lore. I will tell you. 2 seconds. I think it's been, a few weeks, but I could be wrong.
Threw you a curveball.
I had everything apart from that. Oh my god. Let me have a look. Okay, got it. Yes, fucking yes, baby. Woo. For about a week actually. Since from what I know, her daughter was stolen.
Do you think she was stolen by the same dude that's been bothering you?
Possibly, yes. So if
Lynn,
you...
any more questions?
Don't know.
She looks at you all patiently, drinks her wine.
Has your father, before he passed, was he into anything of the occult? Or do you know of any other family members close to you, maybe even including yourself, that may have accidentally triggered this beast to target you in any way?
Not off the top of my head, my friend, no. My father was a good man.
I don't deny it. But it is very curious that he is just seemed to target you all of a sudden. And I'm just wondering what could have caused such a thing. Because it seems that you are getting attacked for as long as you remain a target. If you leave, there is chance that the undead and the wolves could track you down.
Ismark jumps in and goes, and that is why I require your help. You are strong enough to survive Death House.
From what I've picked up, though, we are not the first to have done such a thing. It feels like there has been multiple groups who have come here.
Some who
do
washed up in the
similar.
river.
Unfortunately, we are... For some reason, we have adventurers come in, but they seem to never get too far. They either ignore where we are, or they go into the Death House themselves, and you know how that turns out. They wander into the mists, and without speaking to a Barovian like myself or any of the Vistani, they do not realize that wandering into the mists is a mistake.
How often do you get these adventurers? Do they come at random times, or do they seem to come in fits and bursts that are sequential?
It has been, and you see that he thinks to himself for a second, and looks back at you and goes, "It has been a time. I cannot be too accurate with my statement, but a few months at least. I was beginning to lose hope. The fact that you have gone in and out of Death House and are still here is more evidence to me that you are stronger than them. I do know that some adventurers have this predisposition of finding the beast and slaying them, and have this fantasy in their mind where they just arrive and see the castle and they march their way there, thinking they can just fix things. This is not something that can just be easily fixed, my friends. For now, my concern is to make sure my sister is safe. I wish I could give you more information, but I cannot. I simply cannot. All I ask is, of course, you help Arena with the burial of my father, and then guide her to Valaki. Once upon there, maybe you might know more information, as there are more people there. It is much more populated. The mayor apparently is a bit of a character. But I believe he owed my father something, some kind of favor, so I'm sure that as long as you go with Arena and mention who she is, I'm sure he'll look after you. At least find you a place of residence to stay.
I look down the table where Rain and Cor are. I just say, I think maybe this might be your decision to make. Should we take this offer or not?
Muted.
That's because we were so far
my
away.
My dog was barking a second ago, so I was like, I better mute this.
Well, that's just Lancelot barking. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Lancelot, calm down. I feel like Rain and Ka would be looking at like the inside of the house and making like a few judgmental choices, and then like snap back into the conversation. It's like, yeah, we should probably rest.
Yes, agreed.
You do see when your dog barks a little bit, because, you know, immersion. Irina looks and goes, Is that the Lancelot?
My dog? Yes.
Looks at... She's going to stand up instead of shouting and walks up to you. She gets a little bit of food for him. Are you happy, little Lancelot? And Lancelot is sort of just looks and then just licks you, Rain, under the chin. If you are happy, then I am happy. I know that Mary is not in the right state of mind to look after you anymore. And in the end, it was not you who was our master. It was our daughter.
Rain's gonna scritch behind the ears and be like, I'm not giving him back anyways. It's fine.
Just look after him. And who knows, maybe he will help get Mad Mary's daughter back. I'm not too sure. But please look after him. It's dangerous out there. And she just gives him scritches. Right, so let's get some food for all of you. I believe it is best to go to Dorovich you're gonna this conversation and a meal's gonna take you like quite far through the day. Just to speed things up, by the way, because the timey-wimey things with the how the campaign goes is a bit weird. Yeah, you have a very basic meal, kind of stews and soups more than anything. Bread that is kind of freshly baked. You see that Irina was the one baking this, and there's this moment when you're eating this food that you still have the essence of corpse in the background, but the door gets closed and she gets some like herbs and stuff and just tries to put it on the table just to disguise the smell for all of you. You have your meal. A bed is provided for all of you, a single bed for all of you to sit in. Before we jump to we're going to say that Irina mentions the best time to go to Dorovich, because they understand kind of rights, and actually, Bakor, you'd know this anyway, that burials are better at dawn. So going there right now might not be the best idea, but doing it before daybreak might be the best idea there. You all find a room. You sit around on the beds. Is there anything you want to say to each other before we take this long rest?
Davey would pull Lint aside as they're heading for the door, just grab his arm, look at him. When you asked Irina those questions,
Mm-hmm.
you talked all funny, Lint, like like there's something beyond the mists. Like the devil isn't eternal.
Well, I think what is going on in this place, they're under some kind of influence that might not be all that good. I just didn't want to set anything off. I didn't want to force them to say anything that they shouldn't say. And I was just curious. Like, I wanted to get some questions answered.
Some things just are. The beast just is. The mists just are. Like the night. Like death.
I think Rain's gonna pat Davey on the back a little bit and be like, "Wish you weren't so fucking creepy, bud."
I mean, you have a point, like Davey, but what if things were before this beast or mist, as it were, came along and made things what they are now, which shouldn't? I'm scared that these people are in trouble, and I don't like seeing people in trouble. So wouldn't you agree that we should help people who are in trouble?
I guess.
Yes, we
Isn't
should
everyone always in trouble?
help. From a certain point of view, yes, probably. I just wanted to see what it was, what we're dealing with. We seem to, going through that spooky house, it seems that we need to be very careful where we tread, and from what I've heard, adventurers have gone very carelessly into this and perished. I would not like to perish, and honestly, I don't want to see any of you perish.
Is that what we are? Adventurers?
That seems to be the title that we're given when entering here.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, it's exciting. It's very good. I mean,
Let's go on an adventure.
Okay, so what do
On
you
a
think?
bed.
What do you think we should do,
Bed.
Davey?
I'll do whatever. As long as I can follow my new friends.
Okay.
As long as it's exciting.
Should we all sleep in the same room? Because I feel like separating is not a good idea.
There is
I guess if you-
this room that you're in is appointed for like 4 of you, by the way, just so you know.
So we
go
do
check.
have to be separated?
No. You in this room specifically has 4 beds for you
Oh,
all.
okay.
So you're in the same
Do we
room.
is there windows in this room, or is it kind of like an enclosed room?
There's windows, but they're completely boarded up.
That's gonna check just how stable they are. Both.
Sure. You just
Calm.
and it's very heavily what's the word I'm thinking of? Just guarded, if you would.
Reinforced.
Yeah, reinforced. That's exactly the word. Thank you.
Let's just kind of tries to get any sort of like beam of light through it to try to see outside. It's just like, hopefully we don't get any creepy crawlies in the night. Serious pest control in here.
So, if that's all you want to say to each other for now, you're going to give yourself a long rest on D&D Beyond if you have D&D Beyond. You finally get your long rest, everyone. Well done. 4th session and you're long resting. Couple of things to point out. During this night, there are no noises, no scratches outside. It's kind of peaceful in a weird way. Davey, this is what the vote was for. During the night, in your slumber, you are accompanied by the whispers and conversation of those voices in your head. And as your whatever dream you would like to have here, it almost feels like these voices are dancing around you, sort of like skipping and playing around. And you see in your dream there's mud, swamp. You hear the gurgle of a frog in the distance. Just... and a shadow of a large, hunched creature sort of just moving around, picking things. Make a perception check off the floor.
8.
Oh no.
+6. I have +6 to perception.
You rolled 2? Oh no. Oh.
At 12.
You're rolling for people's dreams. I respect that. And you, I will say this. This arched figure is pulling something out of the floor, kind of nonchalantly. And as they pull, you hear screams. The moment they are pulled out of the floor, the scream goes, ah! And then silent. Consistently. They get pulled, a scream, silent. Pull, scream, silent. Pull, scream, silent. The voices start to panic in your mind. You see that the bouncing and skipping start to hide. And it's like they are hiding behind your very brain itself, as they don't want to witness what is happening right now. The frogs.
Stop.
The moment you say stop, this creature, you see you feel the presence of the face shifting towards you, but as it shifts towards you, you hear a crack and a crack and a crack and a crack as the vertebrae just and it freezes and stares right into you. You don't see eyes, you just see shadow. As it, without taking its eyes off you, reaches for one more. And as it pulls, you feel the middle of your torso start to separate to the point where you go, and darkness. And in this darkness, a different figure appears. This one you recognize from the dream you had before this adventure started. You see that this old lady sort of looks at you in a calming way and just goes, "You need to find me, dear. Serpool. That's where I'll be. And I'll tell you about what you have to come." Everything fades. And eventually you wake up. Question for you, Davey, before anything else. How do you wake up? Is it a case of a calm wake up after that? How would Davey wake up in that specific moment?
I think she screams.
Cool. So I'm going to add this in if you don't mind, Naomi. As you wake up and scream, Davey, your spores, what's the thing that people have to roll? Is it an area thing? Is it a constitution save or something like that?
It's probably a constitution save, but let me look it up just to be
Double check.
sure.
Oh dear.
I know there's an area of it all, like an area effect. I think it's like 5 feet. But for this moment, we're going to expand it.
Fun.
Oh,
You're
no.
so nice.
I'm very nice. This is where the TPK happens, guys. I'm so sorry.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Killed by Davy spores.
Death by friendship.
Constitution save throw.
Con save.
Best way to die.
Everyone roll me a con save, please. What's the save DC?
My spell save DC is...
At 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh lord,
Oh,
what
no.
is my spell save DC?
What's up, Joe?
That's what I hear
Oh,
what
no.
the Constitution save is before I say anything.
14.
Oh no!
I rolled a
I rolled a 9.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Come on, man.
So Davey, please, Davey, please roll damage on this. And this is what happens as this happens. You guys are going to get woken up by this, but you're actually woken up not by Davey's scream. The scream from Davey does not actually come out of their own mouth. It comes through the spores that attach to your bodies as you wake up. So it's not coming from Davey themselves. It is coming directly onto your body, and it's like kind of encompassing your body as it's like a shriek, a shrill. You can describe it really, Naomi, because I'm saying it, but it is your scream technically. So you describe it for me.
Yeah, it's basically she sort of curls in on herself and this giant cloud of spores sort of dissipates into the air and you all hear this shriek, but it's in your head. Yeah, and it's shrill and piercing, and anyone who failed takes 3 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh. So 3 points in necrotic for anyone who failed. Davey, you also notice that as you stand up and you sort of look around really like quick, like quite desperately, you do notice that one of the spores that was attached to your body has melted away. So you all wake up. What's the reaction, Joe?
I like take some damage, but I run over to Davy and like
Same.
grab her hand, and I'm like, "Is everything okay?"
Hey.
What is it, Davy? What's wrong? I like squeeze Davy's hands. Like, you could tell me what's happening. What's wrong?
Something was hurting my friends.
Do you have a nightmare?
What's a nightmare again?
It's when you're asleep, but you see something really scary in your head.
I did see something really scary in my head.
Do you want to tell us about it? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I was in my swamp, and my friends were with me, and there were frogs, and then something was taking them away. And then it was taking me away. And then there was this lady. She told me to find her. Does anyone know what Circle is?
I look over at Lint and Rain with like a puzzled look in my face.
Lint catches caught. Lint didn't go over to Davy. On kind of like experiencing something hitting him in his sleep, he like whatever bed he was on fell off the bed.
Of course.
And he stands up, and nobody would have probably noticed, but he was clutching like the top of his forehead under his head, and then realizing that he wasn't really attacked, he was just looking at the spores on his jacket. And now he's closely admiring them, just like kind of observing how they work. And then just seeing Cor, he just looks up and goes, "So, sorry, what?"
I asked Davy to repeat what they said because I forget the name.
Circle. That's a funny sounding name.
Support.
Not something I've ever heard of.
Should I do a history check or anything to see if I've heard that?
Not a history check. I do want to double check though, because this might change the answer if you do have heard of it. All of you got sent a kind of dream, right? I sent you a Discord. All of you, real quickly, just double check if that is mentioned in that dream. If it is mentioned, then you've heard of it through that moment. If it's not mentioned, you've never heard of it before. Serpool is Tser Pool. Thanks for everyone who voted for the mushroom, by the way. Naomi voted for it twice.
Accident.
And that's what you deserve.
I was not mentioned.
Nope. I don't think it was mentioned. So if it wasn't mentioned in that dream, then you've never heard of it before.
As someone who's part of Barovia, could Davy heard of it?
Ooh, actually, Davy, you can make a history check, actually. Yeah, you are actually right about that. That's a good point.
12 plus nothing.
You're more on the outskirts, and you mainly stayed in the woods more than anything, and in the swamp areas. You were basically wandering the nature side of things. I'm gonna say with a 12, probably not. I'm gonna say with a 12 is a bit low, so I'm gonna say no for this bit. But now you know the name, so there you go. Okay, so all of you will wake yourselves up. If anyone is wearing any medium armor, I think it takes a little bit longer to put on, but I can't remember. You put your armor on, you get your stuff ready. You woke up thanks to Davy, so it is before dawn. You got like an hour of time before dawn breaks. And you work your way down the stairs. And you do see, oh dear, Irina is in her get-up, all dressed to the nines in armor. And then you see that the coffin has been dragged out of that room into the hallway. As she turns to you all and goes, good morning. I was going to say, did you have a nice sleep? But clearly you did not. I heard one of you scream. Is everything okay? I mean, it is understandable. I scream most nights. Are you okay, all of you?
We are fine. We're perfectly fine. Thank you for housing us. Did you have a visitation during the night?
Not from my memory, no. Thankfully, weirdly actually, once my father passed, the assaults stopped. Maybe he's finally did what he wanted to do, but once my father passed, the assaults stopped, so kind of gave me some respite, I guess. So, we shall make tour the church. We will see Dorovich, and I'm sure he's not busy. Maybe he is busy, I'm not too sure. I'm sure he'll be fine to help us with my father. Please, if any of you could assist me with carrying this, I'd deeply appreciate it.
The car goes to help assist carrying it.
So whoever is going to join in, we don't have to roll for it because I feel like it's kind of. I don't want to do the thing of you failing carrying a coffin and then it fucking tumbles and shit. I don't want to do that. So we're going to save that. Whoever holds it will help it get to the church. You're going to spend a few minutes to get there. But what we're going to do, we're going to quickly take a break here for 5 minutes. Get yourself a drink, nip to the loo, all you need to do, and then we will arrive at the BAROVIA church. All good?
All good.
Cool. All right. Back in 5 minutes, and everyone, please make sure you're stretching, get us a drink, and all that kind of thing, and we'll be right back. GG's, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Everyone can say hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Curse of Strahd. I don't know why I'm singing it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Curse of Strahd. We are back. We find ourselves in before dawn happens. We find our adventurers waking up from Davy's nightmare as they unfortunately let go of their spores without their intent. They have explored a little bit of Barovia. They heard the screaming of a woman in the distance. They saw a kind of raggedy looking shop as well. Notice that's the only store in town, by the way, in the village. There is literally no other kind of business there. They were speaking to Irina, the fair maiden, if you would, who isn't a maiden in a sense. She is the daughter of the burgomaster, kind of a mayor type of person. And they met a gentleman called Ismark, who asked them to take his sister to a place that he believes is safer than Barovia. They had an interesting conversation. A few questions were asked by Lint. And they find themselves in the morning taking the coffin to the church where a gentleman called Dorovich, I believe is his name, will hopefully be there waiting. Well, we're not waiting for them. He does not know you're arriving. He will just be in there. But on the way to this church, make a quick perception check. Because here's the thing. You're in a new area, right? It is still technically dark. And obviously vampires and things, darkness is going to help them. So you are going to have your wits about you right now, right? You're going to be carrying this coffin with someone who is known to be targeted. So I assume that you'd be looking out a little bit. So yeah, just make
Apparently not. I rolled a 5.
Oh, sweetie. 23.
23, yeah.
17.
17 and 15. Okay. Anyone who rolled, I believe it was 15 or higher. And again, the higher you are, the more aware you are of this. You're like you're more of a, what could possibly attack this lady who we're trying to look after right now? Lint, you might just be more into the whole idea of figuring out what the fuck is going off. Not what's happening right now, but what's actually happening in the world around us. So I feel like that's why you were low at that point.
Either that or I'm looking at the ground to see if I can spot any familiar poisons.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah. No, but I like the idea.
Oh well.
As you are walking, and again, delicately walking this handcrafted, very not well crafted, by the way, coffin, there is a creaking noise. The sound of wheels turning, just and you notice an elderly looking figure pulling a wooden cart around with her. And you see that she is knocking on residents' doors, going, "Dream pastries, dream pastries, dream pastries." Some of these doors are not opening, and some they creak open. And I will say this actually, because you did roll a lot higher. As the door opens up, you see that inside this door is another human. You do notice, by the way, everyone is human here, at least from what you've seen. They are different races in this town, at least, but everyone is human. And you see this man, skinny, kind of look around really fast with his eyes, and you just hear him go, yeah. He takes it, thank you. And you see him like have something in his mouth, and he eats it. Okay, closes it. Everything locks up. And she just looks and goes, "Another happy customer. Dream pastries, dream pastries." Just wandering away. As you continue your walk to the church, you do see in the very, very, very distance, there is a tiny bit of light. A tiny bit of light appearing as the sun is starting to rise. But again, I want to establish this. It is muted more than anything. It's barely there. Even at the pinnacle of the day, it's so dark still. So you make your way to the church, and I need to find where the description is, because I want to describe it for all of you. I got it for you. And as you arrive, atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports the castle stands a grey, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises toward the back, and flickering light shines through the holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against the load. You notice that this church is in disarray. Parts of the roof itself have just been blown off to the point where you can see there's like slight rain coming down as you're approaching. Starts to enter as well. You approach the door. I'm assuming you're approaching the door, but I'm saying this. But are you okay doing that? You approach the door, and as you open it, it creaks as. The hall itself, it's about 10 foot wide, is dark, but in front of you is a very well lit area. You can't see how wide it is from your point of view, but it is wide and bright and welcoming and warm. And from the distance, you see just pews smashed on the floor. From inside that area right in front of you, you are hearing, Bakar, you'd know this immediately. You will be hearing the chants of prayer. And it's very like... And on the right side of your ear, you hear a... Dad, Father, I'm hungry. And you hear the prayer just in front of you. As you are carrying this coffin. Do you continue forward? By the way, I just want to make sure. Yeah?
No, we continue.
So you continue forward into this... what's the word I'm thinking of, everyone? When it's in a church. You're in a church hall thing, right?
Aisle?
Aisle, sure. And it is just in disarray. Completely, the pews are... There's like no standing pews at all. All you do see is a gentleman, you assume, kneeling in front of a statue of some kind of golden looking figure who has a sword sort of pointed up at an angle. You can all make a religion check if you want to, actually. If you want to.
17.
17.
8.
8, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, religion is an intelligence-based thing. Not...
I have
21.
+2 on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
21, did you say, Lint?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything for you, Didi?
7.
7. So Lint and Rain. This is the statue of a deity called the Morning Lord, or Lathander. From that role, you know that he is all about kind of life, rebirth. Death is part of life, but rebirth is what he's all about more than anything like that. It's a very positive outlook on things regarding that. And again, in front of him, you see a gentleman who you assume is Donovich. As the cries come up again, please, please, I'm so hungry. And Donovich turns and goes, well, welcome. Irina, it's a pleasure to, of course. I'm so sorry. Come in, please. And you see that this gentleman is old. You look like he's in his 60s. He's quite a portly gentleman. Bald on top, white hair, and you see that he has the biggest bags under his eyes. Like he hasn't slept for days and days and days. And he turns to you all and goes, "Oh, welcome. Please, place him down. I am assuming that you want me to, read his rights and do a burial for him. Is that right?" And he's like looking at you because you are strangers in the end. And Irina goes, "Yes, Father, if that is okay with you. I wanted to bring him in the... Father! Please!
Who's that?
I'm hungry." And you see Donovich, the moment you say that, goes... So you wanted me... So you wanted me to... I forgot his voice. So you wanted me... There you go. So you wanted me to... bury him and... read his rights, and it is the right time, and that is fine with me. We can get on with that straight away.
He sounds like he's hungry.
If that is okay with you, Irina, I need to get things set up on my end, and I will happily do that for you.
Our friend asked you a question.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Irina, my son. He came back. What do you mean? He's here. He went to... I told him to stay away from that castle, and he did not listen to me. I thought that we lost him to that fiend, and he came back. Just not all of him. Not him. And you see he's like starting to weep a little bit. This man is on the verge of breaking.
Would you like a hug?
I am... no. I'm sorry, but no. I don't know what to do with him. He's hungry and I don't want to feed him. I fed him food and he said it tastes like ash. Want to make sure I said it right. He spat it out. I don't know what to do.
Is it possible for us to have a look at him? Maybe we could help.
Yes. Okay. If you feel like you can help, I don't know how you can. Follow me. And he you see that he leads you back down the hallway, and you see that on down this hallway is like different rooms on the sides. The doors are kind of battered, and there's like little living areas. There's a bathroom, and in one of the areas, the door opens up, and you see that where the hole is in the roof, this is where the water has sort of entered. There's still a pool of mildew on the floor. So a pool with mildew on the floor. You also see a trap door made out of wood, but the wood itself is like a bloated corpse from absorbing all of the water. You see that this trapdoor is heavily chained with a lock. And Dorovich turns and goes, throughout my panic, I have misplaced the key. So, if anyone can open this and we can do this, I don't know if this is going to open myself, but you can try if you want to. Just go in quietly, if you can. So you've got a lock in the center and heavy chains all over it.
I try and pick the lock.
Yep. Roll me sleight of hand. Nope. Roll me a dexterity check, and if you are proficient with these tools, you add your proficiency.
18.
18. That definitely works. You notice that it is slightly rusted from just water being on it. As you slowly just almost see that it's about to snap, it opens up and chains are removed and placed to the side. The trapdoor itself, as you try to pull it open, is so swollen that it's actually wedged right now. So, how are we going to open it? It's a very simple thing.
Open it together.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, if you want to. I'd like you to make a stealth check. It's going to be 2 people doing this. So either individual strength checks or one with advantage. It's up to you guys.
Guidance.
With guidance, yeah. So who's rolling?
I don't have
I
good
can.
strength.
Let's go Rain, and let's go
Call.
Yeah, Bakor. Yeah, you got strength, haven't you, Bakor?
I do.
Yeah, you
So
both...
I'm just rolling for strength, correct?
Yes, please.
We'll give Baka the guidance.
Sure.
Damn. Oh, thank you.
D4 for
What
that.
I roll for guidance again?
Yeah, you roll a D4.
A D4.
I got a 3.
Oh god.
14.
14 is enough, yeah. We'll say that Rain is sort of pulling a little bit more, but Bakor is the one who actually does the heavy lifting here. This crying that is continuously happening, the moment the trapdoor lifts and breaks because it just splits apart from it being almost rotted away, the crying immediately stops. You see a ladder going down into darkness below.
I'll go first. I'll go down.
Okay.
Putting up my symbiotic entity.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, please. So we'll have Rain goes down. Rain, have you got dark vision?
Oh man, I'm pretty sure I do.
You might do, actually. It makes sense.
I remember I was trying to figure out where to find that, and I never did.
It should be in senses, I believe. I believe you do.
I'm pretty sure we found out that I did, but
Sure. Let's say for now you do. And if you don't, who cares? We're playing a game.
I got a lantern.
There you go. You used your lantern in the death house, actually. There you go. So, yeah, the lantern is lit, and you pull it up. And you see around you just... It's an empty room. Full of water from the roof above. You see rotted food sort of splashed around everywhere. All attempts to satiate this person. In the corner of this room, you see a skinny, pale, I'm going to say man, but it's very young. And he is curled around in a ball, and his hands are around his head. And he just looks at you and goes, I can smell your blood. I just need some. And you see that as he's talking, his incisors, I can't recall,
Yes.
canines actually, they are long. He looks at you all and just looks and goes, please, I just need blood. I just need blood. And you see, as you all went down, Donovich has come down with you. Irina is actually staying up on this.
So I'm guessing there's two ways we can go about this. We either give him what he wants, or, seeing that this is an unfortunate state of being, we find a way to cure him, or at least put him out of his misery.
You saying this out loud, by the way, Lynn?
I'm saying it quietly to Rain, because Rain's in front.
I will say, this room is so empty that you will be heard, because it's so empty. So even whispering, I think Donovich might hear you. I'm gonna, I'll roll just to make sure, because he is still disheveled, so he is rolling well. Yeah. Okay, just continue what you're saying.
Rain's gonna turn around and be like, I would love to know what your plan is for giving him what he wants.
Just a bit. That's all I need.
Does anyone here have a cure for vampirism?
Food does not taste of anything.
I asked Dorovich, have you given him live animals as food?
I have tried. It satiates him for not even before he's finished. And you do notice that around the rotted areas, there are bones of small creatures, like a squirrel here, a rat. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody here have curative measures or aiding measures that could help him?
Please,
Do
Father.
you have anything spore-wise that would keep him asleep for a long time? So potentially we could figure that out?
I just need a bite.
Even if we feed him, he'll always be hungry.
But if we put him to sleep for a while, it buys us time.
Or we can give him a little bit of blood, and then while we try to explore to see if we can find a cure for vampirism. But I'm not too sure how likely that would be.
Well, it sounds like blood only keeps him satiated for a short period of time.
It can be enough to keep me fine for a few days.
Oh yeah, only the animal situation for a little bit. Maybe if we give him blood, it could last him a little bit longer.
Okay, so who's
So Bakar empties his water skin of water and cuts his palm with a sickle.
Yeah.
And just like squeezes blood into the water.
You immediately
Right.
see this person, this creature, nose starts to inflame a little bit and the eyes start to just light up.
Maybe we'll cut their palm as well into the water.
Why not?
I would like you all to take 1 point of damage, please, just for that. Lint, do you...
Lint also does it, but then looks at his blood and then just kind of shows his hand to anyone who wants to see, and they'll see that his blood is jet black, and will say, "Do you think this is worthy?" Or
I think we stick with the red blood variety.
Rain.
Well, Rain
fine.
has
Yeah.
Rain has neon blue,
Mm.
so it's blueberry flavored. It's raspberry flavored.
I mean, would that be worthy? I mean, I'm happy, but
Maybe we can. Does anyone else have another canteen or water skin?
I think I have a couple of vials.
Please, I can't wait any longer.
Rain
It's
turns around, is
awesome.
like, "Hey, wait your turn."
Lint takes out one of his old vials of like one of the lesser like dead poisonous herbs and just like pockets it back into his component bag,
Sure.
takes it out and just pours his blood into it,
Mm.
and then just hands it over.
Maybe we'll also take some of the mushrooms growing from their arm and add it to the water as well.
My Discord is saying that this is a very bad idea.
What we doing it, baby?
Doing a baby.
Anyways,
So I just like kind of toss the water skin.
You see him as that lands and a little tiny bit like spills out. He lunges at it and he kind of lifts it up and opens his mouth as his teeth start to elongate even further. His jaw slightly detaches and gulps and gulps and gulps and gulps and gulps. Do me a favor. Who wants to volunteer a roll? Who wants to volunteer to just do a random roll?
Sure.
Okay. Davey, roll me
random my ass.
a D20 for me.
10.
Okay. You literally hit it. So that's good. You see that his frame is still frail, but there's this aura of, it's like animalistic, it turning into a kind of a frenzy kind of vibe. You all naturally bring your hands out to either grab a weapon or components, whatever it is. And he turns to you and goes, Thank you. Thank you. Father, can I come up? Please? And Dorovich, behind you all, is teared and goes, My son, I really wish I could, but I cannot help you. I will try to pray and pray, but I don't know what else to do. It's the devil. That devil brought you here. But why did you not listen to me? And you see he just starts to cry a little bit. I'm sorry. We must go. We must go, my son. I'm sorry, Doru. As he slowly starts to walk up, climb the ladder. Do you follow? Yep. Cool. I'm gonna roll. He's so fucking lucky. You work your way up the ladder, and because the trapdoor has been basically broken part. There's a bit of time where Dorovich is looking for things to put over this area, and then he changes it back up, and he turns to you and goes, I'm sorry to put you through that. Please, dawn is almost here. Let us get on with the ritual. Follow me. And as you pick up the the coffin, you work your way outside and go behind the church, and you find yourself in a graveyard. Surrounding you are multiple hundreds of gravestones. Some of them are older than you can even comprehend at this point. Some are fresh. There's a mixture, and it's not in a... You know how people will have like, this is our family plot, this is our family plot? There was an attempt to do that. But there became a point of too many people are dying too frequently. So we have no time to get organized with this cemetery now. We just need to do the rites. We just need to get them at peace as much as they can. Throughout the next hour, there's a... Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. For the next hour, Dorovich is going through kind of the rituals regarding prayer and going through a few words of possibly wisdom, all towards the Morning Lord, Lathander. You see that Irina is not stopping, well, not taking her gaze away from the coffin itself. And as the coffin is lowered, she and she alone is the one that starts to cover the coffin in dirt. She finds some flowers. And again, Lint, you clock that the moment they're plucked, they are quickly dying. You can already see it happening as they are placed delicately over the ground. No headstone. Just buried, surrounded by dirt, grass, and the flowers that Irina just picked. As this concludes, you notice... Actually, everyone roll me a perception check real quick. Obviously, if you guys wanted to say something during this time, while this was proceeding, or I don't know if you were going to be just quiet, respectful, and all that kind of thing, or you wanted to say stuff, totally up to you guys, but if there's anything you wanted to say, please let me know.
Lynn wouldn't have said anything, but he would just occasionally, as they were walking through, read one or two of the names of some of the headstones and see if any names like stand out.
I would say during that time, you don't really see any names that stand out for you. Again, you try and find the different families, but because it's all spread out, it's kind of hard to know where each of them are eventually. Nothing really stands out for you. They're just random names. I could make some names up for you. I feel like I'd be saying some random names and I'll offend someone. I don't know. You know, I want to make sure I'm being careful about that. But yeah, just different names all around. Nothing really recognizable for you.
Okay.
Anything else to anyone else before we move on to the... Okay. Let me know what you roll then, everyone.
7.
7.
16.
16.
13.
13, 16, 13. Maybe your for Rain and Bakor, maybe you're just keeping an eye out on the burying that Irina is doing. Maybe you were self-reflecting on the words of Dorovich. It's up to you, obviously. So you two don't notice that as this was proceeding, the fog that has been encompassing this village has slowly started to converge around your area. Lint and Davy, as this happens, there's a slight hill kind of it's facing the castle area, and in this mist stands a single figure. You see the silhouette of a humanoid in a long cape, just watching you. Everything comes to a close, and this silhouette slowly starts to make its way towards you. Before I say anything else, is there anything Davy and Limp want to do as they see this figure walking towards them? Anything
What's
at all?
that? Davy will say to the group.
Mm-hmm. So then, Rain and Bakor, you would see this figure coming up too.
Eldritch Blast.
Stay on our toes.
Do they look hostile?
Make an insight check. Anyone else can do that too?
I'll do it
Yep,
as well.
I did those.
All right.
19.
19.
19.
18.
10. Limp, what was yours?
18.
Nice. I'll say this. They aren't hostile, but you have this overwhelming feeling as they slowly approach. You see that coming out of the mist is a kind of elven man. Hair is slicked back, slightly receding on the side. Actually, kind of like me. I'm not receding, but this is like my hair. Pulling back. Pointy ears, pale complexion, upturned nose, and he has his chin quite held high. Wanders up to you all and has a letter in his hand. Who's closest to this person at this point?
I'll say me.
Rain, yeah. Anyone else next to Rain or anything like that?
I'll be nearby.
Okay. Cool. As this person, male person, walks up to you, he looks at all of you and bows. And as he approaches, let me have a look at something real quick. You all die. What a shame.
Kitty.
Kitty. Hello, Kitty. Let me double check everything. Where is my boy? Where is he? Where are you? Where is he? Hang on.
Bitch boy McGee.
As he approaches you, you do hear a little gasp from Irina as she says under her, like saying to herself, but you do hear it, Rahadin. And there's this moment of, yeah. Rain, as this man approaches you, and again, he is upturned. There's an air of confidence and arrogance as he approaches and hands this letter. And he goes, "Greetings, I am Rahadin. I am here to deliver this letter on behalf of my master." I do, and as he says these words, Rain and Lint, the moment he is within 10 feet of both of you, you look around for a second because you hear the echoes of thousands of people screaming in agony. And it's just in your mind, just constantly playing. And Rahadin is there. "I am sorry for the Burgomaster's passing. My master is here to present this to the lady here, but you can obviously take it on her behalf." And he flips it towards you.
I'll take it.
"Thank you." And he turns to all of you and let me just make sure I'm getting this right, because I want to make sure it's done properly. Oh, that's it. He turns and goes, "Now, I would like to welcome you to BAROVIA. My master is a patient man. He would like to eventually open an invite and a conversation for you four."
Can I ask this guy, can I hand him a small envelope with a note of my own
Yeah.
and ask him to send this back to his master, but can I tell you what it says in DMs later?
He will read it in front of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, you want to still hand it. You don't know that he's going to read it to himself.
He's going to read it to himself or read it out loud to the whole party?
I will read it myself, not out loud. He will read it to himself. So he basically, this is what you do, because you're going to say you're doing it. You get him a note, you pass it to him, and he opens it up and reads. Are you going to tell me what it is right now? Sven doesn't know how to react.
I can type it to you.
Yes, please. And again, during this entire time, again, Lynn and Rain, there is this just miasma of screaming happening. It's torturous screams just popping off just all the time. Does not stop. It's unrelenting. But obviously you're welcome to step away if you want to.
Yeah, Lint starts to slowly back away.
Yeah, at the moment
just try to get out the radius, but still keep close to Rain.
It's around about 10 feet when it drops immediately. Poof, and that's it.
He just stands on the barricade and just kind of leans back so that he doesn't get the majority of it.
Let me know when you sent it. Oh, by the way, while Rain is literally typing this out, Bakar and David, is there anything you two are doing?
Kind of just observing.
Yeah.
Watching.
Cool.
There you go.
Staying back a little bit.
I am standing next to Davey though.
He looks at this letter and chuckles to himself. Wraps it up, folds it, puts it in a pocket, maybe. My master is a patient man. He does not take kindly to people who don't accept his invite. He promises you safe passage if you go there, but only when you're ready. Again, being disrespectful to my master is not the wisest thing you'll ever do in your little lives. And I think it's in your best interest that you come along whenever you want to. What is your name, little one? And looks at you, Rain.
Rain.
And he just picks out the letter again. Puts it away. Now, please pass this letter on to Irina. And then I'll be on my way. And he just looks at you, Rain.
Can I just rip the letter for her in front of him?
You absolutely can.
I'm gonna do that. Just gonna hold it up, rip it in half.
And he looks at you and goes, predictable, predictable. Well, I will pass this message on. And maybe I'll see you soon. And as he steps away into the mist, his shadow just like spreads out. So you don't know which direction he went. It just in, and spreads out.
When Rain rips up the letter, Davy freezes up next to Picard.
And in your mind, Rain, you just hear the words, he does not take kindly to disrespect. And in the mists around you, you hear the sounds of wolves howling. Louder and louder. And in the mists, those sounds turn to shapes. Those shapes turn to fur. And you are greeted by a pack of wolves for your disrespect.
I'm going to reactivate my symbiotic entity.
And we'll pick that up next time. Cool. Good job. Very good, very good, very good. I'm about to say, you're getting tired of letters, right? I'm constantly sending you letters now. Fuck these letters.
I wanted to send one back, you know?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, I like that. It's very cool. I will not tell anyone what that says, because I think that's a fun thing for you to have yourself. GG, gamers. I told you it's going to be RP today. Rahadin is a motherfucker. He is a motherfucker, Rahadin. I'm very excited for you guys to explore, but well done. You did a lot today in the session. You got a shit ton done. It's literally the exact point I wanted to finish, and it happened. So yeah, good job, everyone. Did you all enjoy it?
Oh my god,
That
yeah.
guy gave me rancid vibes.
Oh, yeah.
We're all of agreement that that seems to be the butler to Strahd, right?
That's very much not Butler, but you can't get the idea. Yeah. That cacophony of screaming is such a like little thing he has. But I'll say this, Lint, he did not choose to use it against you in that moment. Whatever it is, you just heard that, and that's just one of those things. But he could do stuff, maybe. Anyway.
Oh, great.
Nice. All right, everyone. Thank you all for playing. It's been really fun to have you guys again. We will be picking this up not next Sunday, the Sunday after, because I'm going to see Game Grumps next Sunday. for my late Crimbo present. So we'll make sure we do that the week after that. But we'll pick up maybe with you lot find some wolves. I don't think you fought wolves yet. You kind of did.
Yet.
You kind of stabbed them in the thing, but they weren't wolves. They were creepy things. But yeah, thanks for playing, y'all. You all did really good. It was really fun to play with you all. Let's finish off by saying to everyone who you are, where everyone can find you, and anything else you want to say. So let's go. We'll go Davey this time, actually. So Davey, tell us about yourself and all that kind of thing.
Okay, hi, I'm Naomi. I play Davey, the Circle of Spores Druid. Yeah, I'm having a great time. You can find me on Instagram and Tumblr and most social media websites under Rosewaterfish. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Good session.
Bakar.
Hi, my name is Dro. You can find me everywhere at Hydro. And yeah, no, I'm having a great time. The story building today was incredible.
Appreciate it. I'm always nervous to get things in. It's good. Thank you. And then we go on to Rain.
Hello, my name is Goss. I play Rain. You can find me as Gossamer's Art on every platform, and I'm looking forward to fighting some wolves.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. They're beastie wolves, by the way. They're cool. I love what you're doing with Rain, by the way. The whole like ripping of letters and shit. It's sick. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna do that. They did. Yes, cool. And finally, Lint.
Hey, I'm Soph. I play the wizard Lint, and I go by Turquoise Magpie on every social media. I do art, and that's about it.
Oh, I forgot to say that, actually. I'm so sorry. Chat, if you're still here, we have a pally, which means you can actually tip, and the tips go directly to Turquoise Magpie and Carmen Seville's, who did, Soph did the, Turquoise Magpie did the character art. Please commission them as well. We're really, really good. And Carmen did the overlays as well. And they keep updating the overlays for us because you guys have been leveling up quite a lot. So please make sure you send them a tip if you can. But yeah, and hi, I'm Whiskey. I'm the guide for this wonderful campaign right now. I feel very lucky to be playing with you guys. I'm feeling good about how it's going so far. And we're going to do some combat next time and all that. So all I can say is... good night to everyone who's viewing, and good night, Mistwalkers. See you all soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.